Hey guys, Ron here, and once again, I brought together 4 other artists, gave them a prompt, and we have to create some Pokemon that embody the description I gave them. But there are 2 twists in this episode. The first is that this is a family reunion. I invited the founding members of this series back from episode 1 for a fun and nostalgic challenge. Moxie 2D, Vergolophus, and Jack from Subjectively. And instead of them just following a short prompt, just like in the first episode, we have an entire description for them to adhere to, which is, this Pokemon has become incredibly popular for young trainers to catch and show off, despite the warning of local professors. Now let's finally see the results. But hold it, Buster. Remember those twists I mentioned earlier? Well, the second half of the twist is actually the most important. It's an extra challenge I imposed. I have banned each artist from using the same design tropes that they have grown accustomed to. For example, Moxie cannot make any bipedal or borderline furry Pokemon, and Virgo can't make a dragon or dinosaur. These are just a few of the many rules we imposed on each other, so that we can design some Fakemon that we normally wouldn't. It's a fun way to not rely on the usual designs we tend to gravitate towards. If you want to see a possible part 13, leave a like if you enjoyed, and check out my Pokemon art playlist to see the many Fakemon videos I've made. But before we begin, I want to talk about today's sponsor, Raycon. A few months ago, Raycon approached me saying, "Ron, we love your content, let us sponsor your video." And I said, "Only if you make green Raycon everyday earbuds." And then within seconds, they came back, giving me exactly what I've been wanting for years. A bunch of new colors that suit my exact taste. So I did a whole bunch of promotion for them, telling the world how Raycon's everyday earbuds offer the same audio capabilities as the bigger name brand companies at half the price. Raycon loved the ad so much, they enthusiastically came back into my house and said, "Listen, Ron, we love how beautifully you showcased our new earbuds. Now, despite how handsome I looked in your advertisement, my ravishing good looks were nothing compared to the beautiful new upgraded everyday earbuds." That's right, Mr. Raycon, sir. You are very handsome, but even the best-looking models are eclipsed by the everyday earbuds active noise cancellation, multi-point connectivity, and a quick charge function that gives you just under an hour of battery with only about 10 minutes of charging. And with its super long battery life, who knows when you'll encounter that function? Yeah, but these everyday earbuds are like my children, so I can't help but be proud of their 3 customizable sound profiles, touch features, and complimentary set of different-sized ear gels. You really should be proud of your little earbud children, sir. I mean, whenever I leave my room, my favorite hobby is going on a walk while listening to Pokemon music, and the everyday earbuds are literally made for that. So if you guys watching want to finally get a hold of earbuds with all these sweet features, at half the usual price of other brands you know, click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/truegreen7 to get 15% off your Raycon purchase, plus free shipping. And with their 30-day happiness guarantee, there is no reason to not try Raycon right now. So, I'm glad to have you OGs back here, and Bonnie.
Woo! Yo!
Originally, Virgo had a giant emergency, and there was a huge chance she wasn't going to make it, so I invited Bonnie to reveal her designs to us, but then a miracle happened, and Virgo made it, I guess. I think.
Woo!
But then, I kept on having power outages today, so now Bonnie is sticking around for the family reunion to record us, just in case, power goes out again. He's also just here for the barbecue, but he doesn't even know the prompt. He doesn't even know the prompt. We can't do what we usually do. We have to do the opposite of the tropes that we usually fall, onto designing. So, for example, the easiest one to always explain is that Moxie can't draw furry.
No!
Yeah, you say
Shut
that.
it down.
You say that.
I don't want to be here.
But
No. I refuse.
my rule list is a paragraph.
No, what's really funny about this is that Moxie's prompt is "don't draw furry," and my prompt is, in so many words, draw furry. my prompt is draw Lucario. Is basically my prompt.
Buddy.
Really?
For a lot of us, it's draw Lucario, but we'll see. Look, I think mine is the most tame. That's why we'll start with it, because I think I made the most Fakemon out of anybody. So I kind of made every kind of Fakemon. So it was really, really hard to find a kind of thing that I don't do. Except it's very obvious once you think about it. So here's what I have to do. I have to finally make an object mom. I think 5 out of the 500 designs I made are object mom.
Get that Magnemite.
Basically, it can't be primarily based on any animal. It can't be green too. I by mistake did make it green before I realized I have to take it out. It has to have some kind of intricate machinery or anatomy. That's the number one thing. I don't do machinery.
That is the challenge.
That is the actual
That's a hard challenge. That is a hard challenge.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I usually just always fall into something that actually already exists. so I didn't really use a lot of reference for what I made, basically. There was no reference for what I made. But then I also forgot that we actually technically have an actual prompt, which is, this Pokemon has become incredibly popular for young trainers to catch and show off, despite the warning of local Pokemon professors.
Can I be very honest?
Did you not read that prompt?
I didn't read that bit until last night. But I made it work.
Yeah, the lore, you can just find some kind of lore to tack on, I guess. I guess I'll show the pre-evolved form.
Let's go.
By the way, I'm not wearing any pants.
Nobody is.
I'm not wearing a shirt, so yeah, this is kind of what we're doing right now.
Surcate, there it is.
Whoa!
Oh, that is
He did it.
adorable.
Oh,
My
this
man
would have
did it.
done well in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly,
This
right?
is Soul Heart. Soul Heart?
Yeah, Magirna's ability.
What's that doing?
What?
Yeah, no, I know that. Hold on, let me look that up.
Boosts special either defense or attack once its ally is fainted. I think it's special attack. The Dex entry is basically the prompt, which is that like a whole colony of Surcate were like discovered recently in like excavated ruins, and then young trainers have been catching them in droves. So like Surcate are able to like propel themselves using a mysterious power we don't know of, and they happily allow trainers to ride on top of them as they journey throughout the region. But again, scientists are researching Surcate's energy source and advise trainers to not ride them because they don't know what's up, how does it move, why does it, what's its energy source.
I like this for a couple reasons. One, because this is something that I was trying to get with my design, which is like, it's not one clear inspiration source. It's not like, oh, this is just X, but a Pokemon. This is like, to me, I mean, obviously skateboard is the first thing that comes to mind, right? But then I'm thinking like USB, like a little portable like micro drive or something. Like
yeah.
It kind of looks like it could slide into your computer USB. And it's just so ambiguous that it feels like a creature in and of itself. It's not like we have to translate something that already exists into the Pokemon style. It feels like a character. It feels like something that exists in its world by itself, without the context of our world. And I really like that.
Does the face? Because it looks like it's like etched out, or it's like hollow in there or something.
Exactly.
Is that face real? You know what I mean?
It does. It's almost always in that face. It moves like a little bit. It can't frown, basically.
move.
No. What's crazy is that the name originally was going to be Surcate Board. I thought that was full on the nose
I would have thought that was funny. I would have liked that.
because it's literally a Circuit Board skateboard.
Yeah. There's levels.
I really love the like the clay tones. There is a very ancient feel here, and getting that like kind of carving feel down the top. I bet this was like part of your struggle or challenge where you're like, I'm gonna get intricate. I'm gonna like give a sense of depth and really like pay mind to, you know, how this is like strewn across the top of this board. And then we were talking about a face in the front, but I'm seeing like an eyebrow and eyes at the top. So I wonder if that kind of comes into play.
Oh, like sideways. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the pattern on the top. Now I'm also picturing this in either the context of like a 3D model, you know, in the newer games, or like in the anime. You know, it can do things like when it's charging up an attack, like the engraved parts of it kind of like light up in sequence, where like the light like runs down from the back into the front, and you can see the light moving down those channels as it powers up for an attack or something.
Yeah, this
The
is
shiny almost kind of lends to that too. Like I'm almost getting
Yeah.
the Tears of the Kingdom kind of, you know,
Ah.
energy vibes.
Very much.
Wait, the shiny is green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You
allowed.
broke the rules.
That's allowed.
Okay.
I mean, you made the rules, so.
Okay.
If you know, you know. Like, this is reminding me of Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail right now. If you know, you know.
You guys are right. It does light up the crevasses, the crevices. So I can tell you how it evolves, I guess. When 4 trainers connect via the Union Circle in Gen 9 and play with Surcate, the highest level Surcate will combine with the others and evolve into
Interesting.
Oh no.
Surcavos.
Whoa!
Oh, I
That's
love.
crazy.
Oh, and there's the face. Bonnie called it.
Yeah, you called it.
You called it. You called
I
the
was
face.
brought to this barbecue for a reason.
Oh yes.
That is so sick.
That is a good evolution.
He cute.
Thank you.
Yeah, and like, you know, it's so easy to be like, okay, my first form is a skateboard, so my second form should also be skateboard. No, like, just go crazy with it. Like, just use the general inanimate properties of your first form, and then just go crazy with it. Just turn into a crazy looking golem, and it's awesome.
But you know what though? Like, so I still see like the round, like say wheel motifs for the abdomen. Even the top half reminds me of like a Tony Hawk like half dome skate like park kind of thing. Like there's still that vibe there.
Everything that looks like a wheel does spin. It can spin 360.
That's crazy.
Nice.
Originally, like this thing is a guardian basically. So I mean, its name it comes from like Kavas, I guess, an armed guard in the Ottoman Empire. Even though that was just an afterthought, it's not inspired by that or anything.
Yeah, it's too high of a concept to thinking about.
That was for the name, not for the concept. They're like ancient sentinels, and they were like ridden by royalty and like foreign officials, and like during wartime they were like retrofitted with a limited power source, which is that sphere in the middle. That's what powers it. But like a group of 4 children can comfortably can ride on top of its head. So this thing is like a mecha, basically.
I love that.
But it just makes me want to like Pokemon game where it's like set in like a jungle or something like that, like a Mesoamerican jungle with all the places in Mexico.
The way this guy isn't technically. While I was thinking of Mesoamerican, it isn't. This could have been in the Middle East. This could have been in any continent.
But the color scheme is just it would just stand out so well in like a jungle environment, and it just makes me really want to see this buddy in like a jungle environment. I don't know. I like jungles. I like golden looking guys. I love ancient ruins. And I want to go inside like an ancient room, but not steal anything. I just want to go inside.
Technically, the line below its eyes is like a smile, I guess. But that's again, that's like a subtle thing.
Yeah, and I imagine it rotating too.
Pokemon have been a little bit more designed with the animation in mind,
of course,
in the recent generations, and I can really see this thing just spinning on the, on the battlefield. Is that the first like combiner? I'm trying to think.
Magnezone. The Pokedex always explains that it's like more magnetons fused together. It doesn't really read that way.
And Metagross, the Metagross line too.
Metagross.
But this is the only one where no, you literally have to combine them in game to evolve it.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
And only one person keeps it. Like the rest, you lose your Pokemon.
Yeah.
No, I'm bringing my lawyer into this. That's my Surskit.
I want full custody of my Surskit.
I love the idea that you also, I assume this is funny, you would like skateboard your way to, to your friends or whatever.
Exactly.
You gotta walk home after.
You have to walk back home.
Just kicking rocks the entire time.
No, the thing is you guys all get into the mech and ride home.
All right, sure.
Because you can fit 4 kids in there. There you go. There's the Union Road.
So now the owner is just the Uber driver.
I wonder if one of them is shiny. If the one that doesn't become the final evolution is shiny, then you lose the shiny.
Yeah. Shiny Catherine would make a video. It's like, I lost my shiny Surskit. I don't know what to do anymore.
Do you guys think I followed the prompt? Let me know.
Actually, you know what? I think you really cut some corners here, and I'm afraid that we're going to be kicking you out of the rest of the video. I'll be taking it from here, guys. Sorry. Ron didn't follow the rules, and it's GG for him. So everyone say goodbye.
Oh, I think a power outage is happening. I can hear it.
I think an EMP blast from Providence, Rhode Island.
Me like that.
Nice. Let us go to Virgo.
Okay.
Hey guys, it's me, Virgo.
Here's Virgo's thing. She can't do any dragons, any dinosaurs, no reptiles, no extinct animals. Nothing that looks like a dinosaur or a lizard.
No fun. No fun at all.
Yeah, no fun at all.
But on top of that, no long flowy tail or like appendage. Nothing that looks
so targeted. It's so targeted.
But the number one thing is that it's nothing that would primarily be marketed towards younger female fans. She really hasn't made many designs that are like for the guys, for the boys. So
you guys have enough. Thank you very much.
You're right.
We want more.
Make a boy Pokemon already.
God, I was gonna say like, people can love like Lopunny and Gardevoir.
Yeah, we love Lopunny and Gardevoir.
Yeah. For the wrong reasons. Oh yes, of course.
I'm not committing to this bit. I do not condone this behavior.
What bit?
In a sense, I did Riolu.
I love Riolu.
And I was thinking, okay, so how do I do Riolu, but like, different? And I was thinking, okay, kids want to catch this Pokemon, right?
Yep.
So I'm thinking, well, it has to be a bug. It has to be an insect. But it's like, what kind of insect am I going to do? I just did no insect. I did no insect. I did like the kind of Eevee thing where I did something that felt like a bug with a bunch of bug parts in. And apart from that, I think the most important thing is that it is a shonen hero, kind of archetype.
That's a boy Pokemon right there.
So the first Pokemon is...
Oh, yes!
Oh, yeah. No.
Oh, man.
Are we all doing like
Kabuki.
shonen heroes? Yeah, because technically I guess a mecha is...
We might be.
Kabukid, Kabuto, the whole helmet hair. But it is a beetle mimic. It is not a beetle. That horn is not a horn. It's hair. It's actually just hair.
Wow.
So good.
And it's like a headband too, almost like Naruto.
Yeah, exactly. You did. Yeah, you did see that. It's a headband. It's goggles. It's They look like an ant. Nice. They look like a beetle. They look like all sorts of insects. They're just this kind of bug that a lot of trainers want to catch, but people say don't catch this bug for a lot of reasons. They're very small and young, and they think very highly of themselves. They will explode if their temper will explode if their ego gets the slightest bruise. And that is me calling out a certain part of the Pokemon fandom.
This sounds like a critique, yeah.
A little bit, because I shonen heroes, people who like shonen, they make these kinds of fanfics that I hate. So I kind of wanted to clown on them a little.
This is a good clowning. I love this thing.
I love how low the defense and the special defense is.
It's a shonen hero, but not in a bad way. It's actually, kids are expecting a shonen hero, especially because Kabukid was, in an anime in this particular lore. It was, it was part of an anime. It was like, yeah, go Kabukid, and it's like people like, I want my own Kabukid. I want my own Kabukid. But as you can tell,
that's smart.
Explode. It's not just emotional. It kind of does explode. The Bombardier Beetle. So there's like a little bit of explosive quality to it. But they're also very shy, and they really want friends, even though they act all pompous. And I think it would evolve in a high friendship.
You always know a Pokemon's gonna be a banger when it's facing away from the camera, when the body is... Those are always the best
Yoshi Super Smash Bros. Victory pose where he's looking away from the camera. I think the way you could say this is the loving parody of the genre. It's definitely calling some people out. It's given a little self-awareness, but in a very loving way. It looks like a Pokemon for people who enjoy this genre to actually be like, yes, this is awesome. I love this. But at the same time, if you don't enjoy the genre, you can step away from it and say like, okay, I understand the digs that are being taken here, and I kind of love it even more for that.
Other than the highlight is a signature thing that you do, but like the design itself, no, it's really, I've never seen you design something like this.
I sort of feel the other way. It's maybe because I pay too much attention to your lines or something, but it still screams Virgo somehow.
I would know this is Virgo because if you look over at the height chart, the little diagram, look who that silhouette is. Who's that silhouette? Is that a certain detective over there?
Is it Doctor Who?
How dare you?
Is that Matt Smith? That's Looker over there. Looker, I can tell. It's Virgo pilled.
Of course it is.
Yeah, no, if I saw this in the game, it's replacing my starter.
It's like almost fusing like Tyrogue and Scizor. They're like two of my favorites from back then.
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
make this thing, I would be so ready to go.
Oh, and the shiny. I forgot about the shiny.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, the shiny is white, and I always do this.
It's got that slight goldness to it, though, which also speaks to the whole shonen thing.
Exactly.
Which also speaks to what I want to design.
I take that W.
It's very much like a power-up.
The second reason why people do not advise on getting this Pokemon, Kabukid in this fictional anime never evolves. Kabukid is just like this cool, always awesome, like, edgy kind of like protagonist character, or that Pokemon that is a partner to the protagonist. When kids evolve them, they immediately think that they're not cool anymore.
Oh, that's not what I thought we were going.
In my heart, I think that the evolution is so darn cool because Kabukid is no longer like hiding under this veil of like trying to be cool. Kabukid evolved and gained confidence and became Pompadon.
This is so cool. This is really cool. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what do you mean not cool?
Those stupid kids don't know what they're talking about. The dandy Pokemon is awesome.
The shading on the
he's on my
glasses
team.
is crazy.
Pompadon's personality is so goofy, and the hair. Okay, that is not a horn. It's hair.
So it's not hard?
Yeah, if it gets wet, it just kind of like flops all over his face. They're kind of like a kind of a comedic character. They think that they're the coolest, and they are. but they do kind of fall flat on their face sometimes.
He's kind of gone from like the Goku to the Hercule, I guess, or something.
Basically,
like, hero to comic relief.
So he's not completely infallible. That's what kids don't like about him. He has dimension to him.
Yeah, exactly. He's no longer like he's no longer the self-insert. He is finally coming to his own. Another jab at you, Pokemon fandom. I see you self-inserting yourself as a 10-year-old and you're 30.
Holy shit! Leave this in. Leave all of this in. It's gold.
I'm sure she's not talking about my viewers. She's talking about the other viewers.
No.
Yeah, she's talking about my viewers. I'll fucking say it. She's talking about my viewers.
The idea of a protagonist Pokemon becoming like a side character is very good. That is
you would think that they're a side character. Kids think that he's a side character or they're a side character.
He's just more of like
Pompadour,
a dimensional, like more of an adult character that has more dimensional. So
yes.
Instead of a shonen, it's more like a seinen.
Yeah, because like Space Dandy is also.
I was thinking Space Dandy, but I didn't know.
Those wings do not fly, but. In the Dex entry says that scientists are still puzzled on how and when Pompadour evolved the ability of rocket propulsion inside of its legs. It has rocket boots.
I love that. That's awesome.
I really love it when there is, a really funny, comedic, maybe not always going to be successful kind of character, but gets a few wins here and there. I'm super happy that I did the color scheme on the OG, while the shiny is still like way too good.
The shiny is so Virgo pilled. That is damning.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's unfortunately like the same colors as my Sona again.
Yeah. But the color scheme really is like red, white, and blue, like a very like the trope, I guess, is very American.
Yeah, very superhero.
Yeah.
I would say, as the fifth member and slowly creeping into Ron's family tree, this guy is absolutely a major player in the anime. Like, he'd have his own arc. We'd be rooting for him. He'd be losing and never giving up, and then have that big triumph, and we'd be like so happy.
And the glasses do come off, but he just
do they?
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm curious.
We're gonna have to see that. I'm picturing like these tiny little dot eyes.
Yeah.
Like these really goofy little dot eyes.
Like Crocodile?
It just makes like tiny little dot eyes. Maybe he has like little lines underneath them, so he kind of looks tired. So just like all of the coolness is just sort of evaporated away, but he's like fine with it.
It's the Gat Moe. It's the Gat Moe.
Technically, I said no flowy things, and he has a cape, but that's
that's what I was thinking by accident.
Kill her. Kill her right now.
I'm sorry, I have to murder you.
But it's not a tail. It's not a tail, so it's not.
I was
gonna
say it's not really an appendage, I guess. So let us continue with Jack.
I'm next.
That's your name?
Right.
I think so. unless it's like, are you one of those people who uses like their middle name or like a nickname as their first name?
My middle name is Finelli, and that would be awesome if you guys started calling me Finelli.
Finelli.
That would, I'd really sink into my Long Island, Italian OC now.
Not until the finale.
Not until the finale for the finale. No, I am Jack. It's not short for John, which people have asked me before.
Oh, yeah.
My name is just Jack.
Let me read your restrictions, because yours was the hardest to come up with. Because you try to dabble.
I hit a range. I definitely, because especially with Fakemon, I think the most important thing about designing Fakemon is to make something that everyone likes. So I try to go out of my comfort zone as often as possible, but I definitely have a comfort zone.
So yours is no deep inspiration. It should be fairly straightforward, no intricate patterns, anatomy, or layouts, nothing that would be tough to market to general fans.
Basically something I would make.
That's why I said, Lucario, because that's what came to mind when I thought about these restrictions, because, it's mass appeal. There's something for everyone to like. But I do think that when I indulge myself in my own design conventions, the things that I like the most, they tend to get a little weird.
True.
So, for me, this challenge kind of was summed up in, brain off. Just, first idea, go with it. It was actually kind of good that I designed the second stage first, because then the first stage could be so simple. So simple that...
It's a rock.
But that's the other thing, right? It's got to be mass appeal. It's got to have that kind of, most people will like it. Here's my first form.
Whoa.
This is cat scrap. Very much out of my comfort zone. I don't do a lot of mammalian characters, certainly not felines. I remember trying to do evolutions once, and they looked so awkward, I just couldn't figure out what about those characters makes them so appealing to other people, because I don't really love character designs like that.
Really?
But it's not, I don't dislike them, I don't see the appeal in them, so it's hard for me to recreate it. I had the second form already designed, so working backwards from that, that made it a little bit easier, and it helped me keep it simple. I'm gonna wait for those fireworks.
Yeah, this time I do hear the fireworks. That's crazy. That's hilarious. It really sounds like it's in your house.
Yeah, they're like right down the street. I'm gonna close my window. Let's see
if we just acknowledge it, then we can leave it in. Guys, we're recording this the day after 4th of July. People are still in the America mode. They're still firing off things.
My dog is next to me now. She is very unhappy with these sudden sounds. Okay, it sounds like they've stopped.
Audio jungle.
That's crazy how much that sounds like it. Holy. And I'm gonna throw something at you right now. I forgot about the first prompt, but it's okay because they actually work out. It actually works out that they would be Pokemon that the professors warned trainers against using, because cat scrap really loves stink. It loves dirt, it loves filth, it loves refuse, and it thrives where most other Pokemon would be too disgusted to even dare to venture. It is the alley cat Pokemon, and it loves eating food that would be inedible to almost anything else. It can digest almost anything and get nutrients from almost anything, but because of this, it smells pretty awful. So despite as cute as it might look, it doesn't really, like, a lot of people try to avoid them because they just smell terrible.
Yeah.
And it always carries around remnants of its meal. Sometimes it gets bones stuck around its neck, so oftentimes it looks like it's wearing a collar, but it's actually just a piece of bone from something that it has eaten. And it usually carries around one of its favorite meals, which is usually fish bones, that it then holds in its mouth and uses as either a snack or as self-defense.
I like how you kind of interpreted the prompt of like no complicated or like interesting origin or inspiration. You used basically a trope that has existed since the beginning of media, which is just like an alley cat. Like it's such a very Western, like tired trope that I've seen a billion times. And that's actually a perfect thing to take inspiration from for that prompt.
It does have that kind of like Gen 5 onwards, like really simplified, starter body and all that. And also I can't help but like see, like maybe in the anime or the games or whatever, almost like the camera, or like it purposely frames the camera so that its eye is always going through that thing, just like coincidentally or not. That'd be really funny.
The tufts of hair, the tufts of fur, it looks real. It looks real, especially with the fish bone. Like it kind of looks like a little bow. If you squint and like rub your eyes.
I did originally actually see the bow. Like that was the first thing I saw before I saw the fish. I was confused.
Yeah, I was kind of playing off that because again, it's like it looks cute, but people have a stigma about it where it's like, oh, that's a trash animal that lives in the garbage.
It's garbage.
It's garbage. It's a garbage animal. It's a trash man. But yeah, and so again, I don't have a lot to say about the first form because most of the concept happened
kind of the prompt
in the second stage. Yeah.
This prompt was created so Jack shuts up so he doesn't say too much.
Yeah, and in fact, I'm just gonna move on to the second stage. It's gonna be very simple. It's the only time I've ever done this. I came up with the name first and designed the Pokemon backwards from it. And the name is Codswallop. I heard the expression Codswallop, which just means ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think it's a Britishism. It's just like, oh, that's Codswallop. It's silliness. But I thought of hitting someone, walloping someone with a cod, hitting someone with a fish, and like a alley cat holding a fish skeleton that it was chewing on, and I was thinking of like old cartoons where like the alley cats are chewing on like fish bones, and I was like, oh, the alley cat bonks someone over the head with a fish skeleton, and that's it. That's the whole idea. Like, so these were my first sketches. I came up with the name Codswallop, and then I drew these, and I was like, oh,
these are so nice.
It could have different forms depending on which fish skeletons it has. It could have a boxing form where it's holding quillfish on its knuckles, quillfish skulls on its knuckles, and then it could have a fencing form where it's got a Veluza skeleton, and then it has a shield form where it has a Magikarp. And then I was like, no. The challenge is to keep it simple. I love Magikarp, so I made it a Magikarp skeleton. And that's it. That is the whole thing.
I was going to say before I even saw the sketches, that movement of the swing of the cod is so good. But even the movement of your sketches is unreal. The way the tail curls around and stuff.
This is for the comment section. I know that the anime also said that Magikarp apparently don't have any like meat or anything, We don't care. Magikarp has a lot of muscle fibers because it jumps so much. So yes, Magikarp would be eaten.
What's crazy is that the concept art that looks like an evolution of this, and you could totally do that.
It does, yeah.
I do like the proportions of the concept art slightly more.
Again, you could see I was thinking of Lucario when I was doing these sketches.
True, it's a very appealing proportion. I don't know if it's the Dex layout that you gave here, but I could totally see this as like a Gen 5 sprite, animated. It's a very New York Pokemon too, now that I think of it. So
Yep.
Yeah.
I just love when a design looks like it comes from a specific generation. And that's awesome. It's giving musical theater.
Yeah, cats, there you go.
Yep.
Thinking about Aristocats. Any Aristocats fans in the chat right now? Any comments?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's nice to turn your brain off and do something that's very simple in concept and just let the design carry a lot of the weight of making the character compelling. You don't have to lean so heavily on the concept. So I always appreciate having an opportunity to turn my brain off because I think it usually leads me to design something that I wouldn't have designed otherwise, and something that I ended up really liking.
I think that's what's so crazy about Pokemon is that literally I made a complicated mechanical Pokemon, but there could be a majority who just prefer this thing.
And I was, because this was an anniversary, I was kind of thinking about Moxie's first design and how many people,
exactly,
for our first video, and how many people loved that, and how I was like, okay, so that's what people like. People like, the kitty cats. They're going for the fluffy feline friends. So I was like, I'm gonna channel that a little bit here. Perfect.
Moxie, I've been anticipating this for months and months because I've already. When I thought of this prompt 3 months ago, I had you in mind.
Ron, you took everything from me.
Yeah, you did.
So,
do you want to read the prompt?
Let me read the prompt for the audience. If you guys don't know, his design has to be nothing even remotely anthropomorphic. It can't be bipedal or have an expression of something that is extremely intelligent or human. It can't be too sentient. You can't take inspiration from an existing piece of media, like an anime or video game. I know you love to do that. It's not a bad thing, obviously, but sometimes you gotta not do that. You can't have a straightforward concept. What does that mean?
maybe that one shouldn't have been in there.
No, it makes sense. Because a lot of times Moxie, it's just one thing. It's not a combination of different like one myth from this place and one animal from another place. It's
like I always say, I just do animal and thing usually.
Exactly.
That's it.
So you must have a design that draws inspiration from multiple sources and isn't based on popular and well-known tropes like a swordsman or a cat girl or a lion and a hippogriff.
You didn't have to read that one out specifically.
So basically your concept should draw inspiration from obscure animals, myths, cultures, and you also can't break any rules.
Wonderful.
I have 911 on standby.
All right, I have a little bit of a PowerPoint here that I want to walk us through.
Give us the Bonnie treatment.
Let's go.
It's nowhere near on that level, but I had to express my own thoughts here. So I could not I could not do anything simple. I couldn't do anything that looks like a mascot. I couldn't do anything that I thought was cool. I couldn't reference anything I like. And I couldn't do bipedal. So that's where I landed.
Good. That's so funny. That's
and
I'm saving this image. I love this.
At least let him do a mascot. I mean, that's what a Pokemon is. All of them.
But all of his are mascots, so you can't just do it.
It's so funny because also these words describe what I designed. Also, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah, the order of this has worked out well. So, no popular myths and tropes, no unicorns. I have to have 3 or more design inspirations, which is something that annoyed me about Skeledirge so much. It was 50 things in one.
I love it.
Well, it has to have a very niche interest, so it can't be it can't be a Pikachu, it can't be a Eevee. No referencing media I like. And inspired by something obscure. And this led me to existentialism. You broke me, Ron. You broke me. That visual brought me to the eye in space. I don't think this is a trope, right? This is just a weird visual of the eye in space.
Okay.
Oh.
I went deep into my inner psyche and lost myself and saw a visual of an eye in space. That's what happened, I guess. Something that I definitely wouldn't normally do, and I went with the tardigrade.
Oh yeah, that's not Moxie. Okay, I like where this is going.
I don't like where it ended. So this is a weird little microscopic guy. They're apparently known as water bears, and they're like basically indestructible. They can survive anything, space, whatever. They live through it all. And so I had to get my third piece of inspiration, something obscure and weird. And so I went down the internet rabbit hole and found this weird experiment called Emoto's Water Experiment. It's super weird and is almost definitely not true. That basically the idea that they were pitching was that your emotions or your feelings or the words and thoughts that you have can shape your water molecules differently. And if they have like positive ones, it'll make it look all pretty and nice, and negative ones will make it look all evil.
But here's the thing, that really is obscure. I've never heard of this. I'm sure you guys haven't heard of this, right?
This sounds like a TikTok.
So you're
like a TikTok
trend. This is definitely
yeah.
pseudoscience, but you're succeeding right now, Moxie.
Wait, this
Okay.
one the edibles hit.
Yeah, when you say thank you, your water molecules in your body freeze and turn into snowflakes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I love this. This is such a great jumping off point for a design of any character.
You can tell I went through the ringer on this one. It really hurt my brain.
Good. Little hurt. You're working out. You're like Goku right now.
Big time. This is Tardimoto.
This
Wow.
This is definitely not a sexy cat.
Yeah.
Tardimoto.
He's like a little empathy guy, but he's not. He's a tiny little Pokemon that is known for their ability to survive in any environment. They're anxious little Pokemon, which use their singular eye to read others' emotions. So it can't really express itself that well. It's only got one eye. That was really hard to work with. But they think they're reading others, but that's not what they're doing. But they think they are. They're actually manipulating the feelings of other people by altering their water molecules, making them feel more positively towards Tardimoto so that it feels better about itself.
Oh my god.
Wow. Oh, I love this concept because it's so funny because you still have like those Gen 1 eyes, not like the angular eyes, but like the Charmander eyes, like
Yeah.
But it adds to the uncanniness of this design because we're used to seeing those eyes on something that looks like Eevee or Charmander or Bulbasaur, something that looks familiar and cute, and it's on this weird, almost fetal looking, somewhere between a grub and a baby animal. And then it's got these strange levitating waters cycling around it, and it adds to that unsettlingness of it in a really cool way. I think you've unintentionally or otherwise managed to use the style that you're comfortable with to achieve something entirely different with your design.
Sure did.
Yeah, it inverts the conventions we're used to seeing with these design attributes and makes it feel weird.
Everything he said, I felt that. And now that I realize, I knew I forgot something to ban.
Uh-oh.
That ability is game breaking.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That was not
Classic
in the prompt.
Moxie.
It was not in the prompt, but now I realize that's totally a thing you do.
So that was a bit of the learning of the animal about this, how they just can survive any elements. And apparently this is a status, I guess, that they go into called cryptobiosis, where they basically just turn off their metabolism and everything and just stop.
Yep.
For a while. It's like hibernation, like times 20, you know?
The stat spread is also insane. 5 attack.
I love how high the attack is.
To be fair, that's
Also the bars are completely mismatched. 5 attack, the bar is so long.
Oh no, I forgot to change the bars.
Ooh. I think the top right one, I think that's my favorite
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
I think that's it's a really good angle.
And this is what I'm saying, like, trying to emulate the Pokemon style can be limiting. Like, these sketches, I think I like them more than your final render.
Over the last few episodes, more people are handing in, like, these kind of sheets with more different expressions and poses, and it definitely enhances everything. It's not mandatory, though, because I don't want to do them.
I found that it
for
actually
some reason
helps.
I couldn't help explore his shape. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not sure why.
Sometimes the key art, the final 2D art, a single pose, can look kind of flat. And if you don't, as you said, if you don't explore the anatomy, the personality, how it moves around, you don't really understand how that works yourself. So then the audience sees it and you're like, nah, something looks off about that. So doing this, I think, is very helpful.
I think the shading adds more contrast in the sheets too, so the form it's less it's less flat because of that. So I think that also helps. That's why
it might have been good to keep the dark shadow in the official art because it looks so nice.
Newer Pokemon key art specifically does use darker and more saturated shadows. But even still, they're very muted, and this makes it feel like something under a microscope or something that is lit by the sun without any atmosphere. Like, it feels like it's in space. Like, it's such a bright highlight and such a dark shadow. It gives it a cosmic sort of feel.
Evolution basically just expanded on the concept and kind of brought it back a bit to that the original visual of the eye in the sky. It's this nebula.
Oh, I did not expect that.
Crazy! This goes crazy!
I've never seen an evolution like this.
Nebula is a tardy moto that successfully, in floating comma thingies, learned to understand the feelings of others and bypassed its inner battle with how others perceive it. However, once it starts reading someone, it becomes obsessed and forgets to blink. And this tends to scare humans, ironically. But it also tends to read people too deeply, bringing out their deepest anxieties about themselves. It's responsible for many mental breakdowns in trainers, and so professors warn against encountering it.
There you go. You're tied in. There's the challenge.
Brought it back.
No, it is. It's a smart way where, like you said, it looks like it's empathizing with you, but it's actually affecting your molecules, and that's kind of dangerous. And the scientists, why would the kids know about that? The scientists had to, research that to find out. Makes total sense. The cosmic energy water thing is what expanded and evolved more than the actual body, which is always interesting when, almost like Tinkaton, like the hammer is what evolves instead of basically the body that much.
Yeah, and I like that too, because it implies another kind of growth other than just physical strength, because obviously physical strength is not the focus of this design.
Which is my default for sure.
yeah, armor and weapons in particular. But I also feel like our fans are going to resonate with this a little bit too, because this is like the social anxiety / autism Pokemon. Like it just kind of stares at people, like tries to understand them as best it can, but ends up kind of just making people feel a little uncomfortable without meaning to. And I feel like some people might relate to that a little bit, because I mean, I can relate to that feeling of like staring at someone for a little bit too long and then realizing like, oh nope, this is weird, and not understanding the context of that.
And that's how you got married.
It works. Sometimes it works, guys. This would be a great partner Pokemon for me, because I also stare at people and have trouble empathizing.
Funnily, because one of my limitations was to not have it express too much or whatever, so it's like hard to get emotion from it. But I wanted to bring that into the story of it instead, so that you can kind of get it that way.
It was more to prevent you from like making it sexy, having a sexy like an expression.
That's emotion. Okay.
This is the call out. This is the call out video. This is the roast.
Because like sometimes the body may not be sexy, but like the face, you never know.
Right.
Okay. I really love the little eyelash in the sketch. I don't know if that's like a gender difference or just because
more like an expression of like innocence, I guess.
I do like that.
It's so cute.
It's deep.
Yeah.
It's deep, which is good. That's what I asked.
Yeah.
I'm 12 and this is deep.
I'm 12 and this is deep, and I can't have it because the professor said I can't. But I love that it's kind of like emerging out as if like it's this eye that's peering out of an eyeball,
right?
Like the iris, and so, you being able to push this emotion just by like, upgrading its one feature, this giant eye, and then making it an eye within like this bigger eye, you really crush this prompt, and I don't have to take you to jail, which is great for me.
Oh, thank you so much. Can I get a congratulations for not cheating?
Yeah.
You did it!
Chat, come on, chat.
This is Chimata. No! Chimata is the cheetah Pokemon.
Oh my god!
Wait, what? Wait a minute. What?
You cheated! You cheated!
I was about to genuinely congratulate you.
Into T-Rogue.
No!
Thief
Arrest this man! Send him to jail!
That has a hood.
I actually do like the hood. Not gonna lie.
Moxie!
Moxie, I gotta take you to jail, dude.
Blindside.
That's why Bonnie was
my
undercover the
God.
entire time. He was here.
You should absolutely like cut really quick, like as soon as these two designs show up on screen, just say Shimata cut.
Like I was done with the prompts, and I found that I really like this series because it does actually get me to sit down and draw Pokemon designs like I used to as a kid that I don't really make myself much time for these days. These literally were just like, I'm kind of in the flow of designing Pokemon right now. I might take the piss a little bit here, but I just want to make more. You know what I mean?
That is something really special, though, isn't it? Like, you know, especially with a challenge. I mean, because, you know, you hear the word challenge, it can mean a lot of things. But really, what you get out of doing a challenge is just forcing yourself to do something that maybe you still enjoy, but you don't give yourself enough time to do it in your regular day. Whether it's working out or eating better or just going for a walk or just drawing something that you used to love drawing.
So thank you, Ron, for putting us all together to do this again.
Yeah, thank you, Ron.
You know what? I think one day I want to do a challenge where we all have to make like Moxie Pokemon.
Oh.
Wait,
I would do it because that would really be a challenge for me.
so you guys thought I was here just to police you guys? Are you joking me?
Oh,
No way.
And it's Kingalarva, and then it becomes Henshine, and then finally Sunshine,
Hey!
the sleeper to hit sleepers.
You didn't do this while you were on the call, right?
No, absolutely not. This is like from a year ago.
Oh, okay. I was about to get a little bit mad.
But thank you again to our host, Ron.
I'm assuming nobody has anything to promote, but if you do, you can.
I do have a video that'll be coming out, but it has nothing to do with Pokemon. If you want to watch a video dissecting the aesthetics of Frutiger Arrow.
Oh, I love that.
History.
No, that's perfect. I love that. I'm going to watch that so hard.